el exec, el exec. El Vélez, el Vélez, el Vélez. El fenómeno que todos quieren ser. El chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to the Exec Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Velez. Welcome to episode 143. Yes, sir. Ski. What are we talking about today? Very simple. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, follow me on all my socials. We're a little bit in moving, so, the green screen was just put back into my room just for temporary purposes because, I'm moving it out of here to the apartment. But that's coming in hopefully the next week or so. So we'll be in a new spot. We will have editing. We will have actual video to show you guys and stats. That's my hope. Okay. A very special person out there is in charge of that. My creative director. So what do we got to talk about? Well, first of all, let's talk about NASCAR. Get that out of the way. Ross Chastain wins at Kansas. He's not in the playoffs. So he kind of just he wins, but it doesn't count, and it doesn't help anybody in the playoffs. William Byron got second. Kyle Busch would have won. He's outside the playoffs too, but he would have won, and he crashed with I want to say one of the restarts. He crashed, being in the front. But yeah, now we're going to Talladega. Now we're going to restrictor plate, high banks, drafting. I expect the Hendrick cars to dominate. Now, it is Dega, and with Dega comes uncertainty, question marks, who's going to win, what's going to happen. It's basically the biggest enigma in NASCAR besides Daytona. It's going to be interesting, but I think the Hendrick cars are built for it. I think that they have the best drivers for it, although Martin Truex Jr. is really good, and, the Joey Logano's are really good. The Austin Cindrics, he's won there before. Denny Hamlin, of course, he's a 3-time Daytona 500 winner, so he's good at the restrictor plate races, but I think the Hendrick cars, watch out for Bowman, watch out for Byron, Chase Elliott for sure, and of course Kyle Larson, got to watch for the 5. Everybody's still in. They cut it down to 12, but everybody who's important is still in, except really big surprises that got knocked out because they crashed the first 2 races. But other than that, it's going to be an exciting race. Although I can't watch it live because I'm watching football, and I'm not gonna change Red Zone to go to NASCAR. I used to watch it on my phone while watching Red Zone, but I have to watch football, bro. I cannot be missing stuff in football. You know what I'm saying? So, another thing we're gonna talk about, Devontae Adams possibly getting traded. Now, the thing is that he's probably not going to the Chiefs, although we're going to talk about Rashee Rice, and we're going to talk about what the Chiefs might do and everything like that. I'm thinking the Jets are probably up there. I would want to say somebody I would like to see him. I mean, people are saying Buffalo. I don't know why he would go to Buffalo. He would be the number 1. He would have Josh Allen, but I don't know why he would go to Buffalo. I would if I was him, I would go with a young quarterback in Washington, and him and Terry McLaurin, with Jayden Daniels. I think that would be a good fit. I think that you see what Cliff Kingsbury did with DeAndre in Arizona with Kyler, so I think it would be that same type of treatment, 2 number 1s on the same team. Some people are saying the Colts and the Chargers, of course, but he's not going in the AFC West, even though the Chargers need him, even though Kansas City needs him. He's not going that way. Some people said Pittsburgh. I'm like, no, bro. He wants to go to where a quarterback can actually pass him the ball. You guys don't understand that? This guy's a first ballot Hall of Fame receiver. Okay? Future first ballot Hall of Famer. This guy needs a quarterback who, instead of just looking at him and being like, I wonder if he's open. No, he just says, no, it's Davante Adams. He will be open. And just throws the ball. And, the Jets are there, of course. Bills. I could see somebody maybe like the Jaguars maybe go after him, or somebody like Arizona to add to that core with Kyler. I think a good match with him would be Atlanta. Then you look at Devontae, Darnell Mooney, and Drake London, and I think that's a heavy top three there. Dallas to add him to CD, I wouldn't like him in Dallas, to be honest. Like I would like him at a place that he would be the number one. So maybe like a Chargers, but he's not going there. So like a Broncos, but he's not going there. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the MLB playoffs. Started today. The wild card Diamondbacks are out based on the doubleheader that happened yesterday between the Braves and the Mets. The Mets and the Braves are both in. 2 wild card games have just gone final within the last 2 hours. The Tigers with Tarek Skubal, they dominate. They win 3-0. 3-0, I believe, or 3-1 against the Houston Astros in Houston. Fromber didn't have a good game. Second inning, he got hit for 3 runs, and that was it. That was literally the game. Tarek Skubal dominated for 7 innings, and their bullpen shut it down. And then the Orioles lost 1-0 against a Bobby Witt single, RBI single. Cole Reagans had eight strikeouts. Rookie basically a debut record for the Royals. He dominated. Corbin pitched his ass off. He just let off 1 run. This is a best of 3. So tomorrow they go again, and if the Astros lose, they're out. From being 7 times in the ALCS in a row to they're out. That's how it is. They got Hunter Brown going tomorrow. They do have the advantage that the Mets have. I mean, the Tigers might send out anywhere from anybody from Kenta Maeda to Casey Mize to an opener. They have a lot of ways they can go, but they don't have a guy like a Hunter Brown who's been a legit starting pitcher this year. So I think that the Stros take it tomorrow. And it's possible they take game 3 as well, just because the pitching for the Tigers, it's Skubal and that's it. So you can't pitch them every other day. That doesn't happen. It's every 5th day. So that's that there. The Brewers are currently, I believe, 3-3 against the Mets. They were up 2-0. Mets got a hit, I believe Mark Vientos got him back in it, 3-2, and then Jackson Churio now in the 3rd inning just hit a double up the middle to tie it at 3-3. We're also going to talk about, guys, it is week 4, just finished week 4. And we are still watching some horrible football, okay? Some awful football. Some play calling that is not even high school level. Some decision-making that you shouldn't be a coach if you're making these decisions. You know what I'm saying? Some quarterback play that is abysmal, atrocious, and garbage. Garbage mustache. Okay? But there's also some good football. It's also some good football. We're gonna praise some good football. On our picks this week, we went. It was another week of certain surprises, But we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We went 8-8. That's what happened. Or 8-6. Yeah, we went 8-6. So we still went positive. But boy, positive is not. That's not good. You know, that's not good. But you know, it's better than under 500. You know, we don't do that. We're gonna talk about Georgia, Alabama, absolute classic, best game of the year so far. We're gonna talk about Colorado still cooking. You know, last year they started 3-1, then they lost every other game, and they went 3-10. This year they win 4-1. Okay, now we're doing something. A little bit of the run game, some balanced offense. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. And then we're just going to break down the NFL because there's some things that are amazing. There's other things that are mid. And then there's other things. Some very special things that I don't know if you guys have watched The Muppets or like Sesame Street. Maybe you guys are too young for that, you know, for my viewers. But whoever is around my time, 90s, early 2000s, yeah, bro. You remember Sebastian, the trash can guy? Yeah, there's some things that you just got to give up to him. Let him eat it up because there is some garbage out here, bro. There is some boo-boo pachoo, okay? In so many ways. But let's get to it. So, Alabama, Georgia. Alabama jumps off in the first half. I think it was 28-0 at one point. Like, it looked bad. But I knew that Georgia would find their stride because Kirby Smart is not one of those type of guys, one of those type of coaches that, you know, just kind of gives up and doesn't find a way to win. They didn't just find a way to win, although they lost. Bama won, so my picks were good. Bama won. Bama's 4-0, Georgia's 3-1. Bama should jump up to number 2. I think Texas is still 1, but it's possible Bama jumps to number 1 just because Bama was number 2. They snapped a 43-game win streak of Georgia. And then another thing. This game showed me that Jalen Milroe will be a first-round pick in next year's draft. Now, as the hype train climbs up throughout this year with his performances, it's possible that he's in the top 10. Now, people look at him like a Jalen Hurts, but I'm like, absolutely not. He is not Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts went to Oklahoma. He had no pressure. He was facing basically bad competition, you know, basically compared to Alabama where Tua took his job. I think that Jalen Milroe is way more prepared. He's way faster. He runs a 4.3. He's a way better deep ball thrower now in college than Jalen Hurts was. And I think he's a better processor. I think he doesn't look at the rush. I think he's a much better processor than Jalen. I mean, they're both Jalen. One's Jalen Milroe. The one, Jalen Hurts. But which is crazy. 2 Jalens play the same style. That's incredible. At the same school. That's crazy. So let's get to this game. What does it start with? Starts with Bama just throwing the ball down the field. Ryan Williams. You know, they run the ball. You know, the offensive line is playing well. The defense is playing well. A couple mistakes by Georgia. A couple mistakes by Carson Beck. Some overthrown balls. Some not good running game. And it is 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. And you're like, oh, boy. We're in here for a blowout. And then they scored another 7. And it was 28. And then Georgia scored. And then it was 28-7. And then Bama hit a field goal. And then we went to the second half. And Georgia held Bama to 3 points in the third quarter and scored 8. Got a little closer. And then Georgia decides to go off bonkers, 19 points in the fourth. Take the lead after being down more than 20. Take the lead with 2 minutes left. And this guy, Jalen Milroe, takes one play, looks to his right, says, I have a 17-year-old demigod outside, passes the ball to him. Let's say it was like a 25, 30-yard pass down the field, not that deep. He comes back for it, catches it, spins, lands on his 2 feet, looks like he's going to run towards the middle of the field against the 2 defenders that are trying to tackle him, jukes the shit out of both of them with one move, and then sprays it down the field, 75-yard touchdown to basically win the game because Carson Beck takes him down, and on first and goal, this man throws a pick. Now, it was a good pick. I'm not going to say it was a bad pick. It was a good pick by another true freshman. This Alabama game was dominated by true freshmen besides Jalen Milroe. It was just an amazing game. One of the best games I've seen. Carson Beck showed me some stuff at the, showed me some moxie, some toughness, some mental fortitude, I'm not going to quit in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter. But it was too much. It was in Tuscaloosa. Jalen Milroe had the momentum, and he has Ryan Williams. And I'm going to tell you guys, between Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith, and Travis Hunter, those are 3 special dudes. Now, only one of them is going to the draft this year. That's Travis Hunter. Probably number 1 if he keeps playing the way he's playing. But if you think about Jeremiah Smith, the one from Ohio State, and you think about also Ryan Williams, 2 true freshmen. One's a 17-year-old. The other one was the number 1 wide receiver recruit in the country. And these guys are special, man. Special type of talents. Jeremiah Smith is like a Debo, but a polished Debo, like a receiver Debo. And then Ryan Williams reminds me of Smitty. Devontae Smith, same type of size, 175, like 6 foot, 6'1", but he can jump out the gym. Ball skills are insane. He can shake. He has the speed. So I think those 2 guys are going to be very, very special when they come into the league in 2 years. But shout out to Alabama. I picked them. Well, very rarely, but I picked them because they were at home, and I thought that they would get it done. Everything else, Kentucky beats number 6 Ole Miss. What an upset. Now, they held Georgia to 13 last week. Or 2 weeks ago. So the defense definitely could play, but they won 20-17, and Ole Miss goes from 6 to when the new one comes out, they're going to drop. Because University of Kentucky was 2-2 and unranked. Okay, but it's SEC football. Michigan beats Minnesota 27-24. Orgy figures it out some way, finds Colson Loveland. Khalil Mullins runs for 111 yards. That was basically their offense and 2 touchdowns. Their offense was running. Kansas State beats Oklahoma State 42-20. Avery Johnson's going to be nasty. He's going against Colorado this week. That's going to be very interesting in Boulder. BYU beats Baylor 34-28. USC beats Wisconsin 38-21. Although this game started a little rocky for USC, 7-7. Then it was 21-10. And then 14-0 in the third quarter, and then 14-0 again in the fourth quarter. The USC defense bowed up, and Mason Miller distributed the ball. Notre Dame scraped by Louisville 31-24. Thought Louisville had a real shot, but Riley Leonard finally passed the ball. Actually, he went 17 for 23, 163 yards, so more than he's done any game with the Fighting Irish. He ran for 52, ran in for a touchdown. Jeremiah Love ran in for a touchdown. He had 34 yards. 163 yards receiving in total. Nobody went over 100. Nobody went over 75. Nobody went over 65. Jaden Greathouse, number 1. 4 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. That was it. Oklahoma beats Auburn in a fest of in a defensive fest for OU's first SEC on the road win. They were losing all game. Auburn, except the first quarter where Oklahoma was 7-0. Auburn 14-0'd them second quarter. Then 3 points, so it was 10-14, and then Oklahoma scored 17 in the fourth, including a pick six to go up 27-21 and win the game. Texas A&M beats Arkansas. We expected that, but it was closer than we thought, 21-17. Texas beats Mississippi State, 35-13. Archie goes for 26 of 31, 325, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Wisner, number 26, runs for 13 carries, 88 yards. I don't know why Jaden Blue didn't get the ball more. That's interesting. DeAndre Moore Jr. caught 4 balls for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns, along of 50. Isaiah Bond went 5 for 74. Matthew Golden went 5 for 52. They passed the ball, obviously, for 325 yards, so that was very nice. And Broughton had a sack. Anthony Hill Jr. had a sack. Baron Sorrell had a sack. It had 6 sacks. Colton Vasek had a sack. Man. Colin Simmons had 2 sacks. That's crazy. No interceptions. No fumbles. Well, yeah. They had a fumble. Jaden Blue fumbled. Lost both of them. He fumbled twice. No wonder he got sat for Wisner or Wisner. Yeah. But essentially, we keep going. Clemson, Stanford, 40-14. Clemson, after that beating in week 1 or week 0, Kate Klubnik has been playing well. Now, this was against Stanford, a 2-1 team. Clemson is 17. They're 3-1, obviously. Kate Klubnik is still putting up numbers. He went 15 for 31 for 255, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Phil Maffa ran for 58 yards, so they didn't run for anything. Brian Wesco Jr., 2 catches for 104 yards, so along of 70, one being a touchdown. Cole Turner went 3 for 61. And that was about it. But Clemson 40-14. Maybe they can get back into ACC contention against UM at the ACC championship. Maybe. Iowa State beats Houston 20-0. Ohio State beats Michigan State 38-7 with 2 nasty one-handed catches from Jeremiah Smith. Penn State beats Illinois 21-7. So Drew Allard and Nicholas Singleton took over. Allard only threw for 135 yards, no touchdowns. But Katron Allen went 18 for 102, and Nicholas Singleton went 16 for 94, both with touchdowns. So, once you're doing that, you don't need to pass the ball much. LSU beats South Alabama 42-10, obviously. Boise State beats Washington State 45-24. Another Heisman candidate, Ashton Jeanty, rushes for another 259 yards. This guy's absolutely disgusting, dude. 26 carries for 259 yards and 4 touchdowns and a long of 64. This guy on the season, it is just week 5. 82 carries, 845 yards, 13 touchdowns, 10.3 yards a carry. Yeah, he's going early in the draft. Now, I don't know if first round, because you know how it is with first round running backs, but this kid's kind of different. I'm not going to put him in a Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs territory, but he's getting there. He's getting there. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Arizona beats number 10 Utah 23-10. That's a surprise. Oregon beats UCLA 34-13. Dylan Gabriel keeps adding to the resume. And then Miami beats Virginia Tech 38-34 on a Hail Mary at the end that was ruled a touchdown. And then upon further review, it was clearly an incomplete pass. So thank God for that, because Miami is 7 right now. They should go up. Probably not, because it was Virginia Tech, so maybe they stay at 7 for the long haul, win the ACC championship, and then from there, hopefully, Cam Ward gets going. Cam Ward is one of the top 3 Heisman candidates right now. He went for 24 of 38, 343, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Don't like the picks. Damian Martinez went 14 for 60 yards, so they didn't even run the ball that well. Elijah Arroyo went for 88 yards on 2 catches and a touchdown. Xavier Restrepo went 5 for 60. Jacoby George went 4 for 59. Isaiah Horton went 3 for 34. Cam McCormick caught a touchdown, 6 yards. Cam Ward had a beautiful, like, Heisman-esque type of play, getting almost sacked, flipped the ball to McCormick, and McCormick ran it in for a touchdown. So that was nice. But, you know, so far, kind of going the way we thought. Michigan's still good. You know, you still got USC, Oklahoma, still got Texas. Clemson's kind of there. Bama, Georgia going to be there for sure. Ohio State's rolling. Penn State kind of, you know, LSU maybe. You know, Oregon's still wagging. The only surprise is Utah losing and Ole Miss. Like, those are the big surprises losing. Because everybody else, I mean, everybody else took care of business. So, on to the NFL. Okay? On to what we really came for. Cowboys, Giants. All right. Listen. We're going to go through the stats, right? If I'm being very honest, and I'm talking about very honest, this Cowboys team is mid. For all you Cowboys fans out there, I told you at the beginning of the season, your offense is one play. CeeDee Lamb and pray. Now, are you going to go after Devontae Adams? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Would that benefit you? Yes. Would I like that? No. See how that works? So, Dak Prescott against a Giants defense. 22 of 27, 221, average of 8.2 yards a completion. Took 1 sack for -8 yards. 2 touchdowns, no picks. A rating of 125.5. Running, non-existent. And it's not going to be existent anytime soon. Okay? Rico Dowdle went 11 for 46. Ezekiel Elliott went 5 for 19. That's awful. CeeDee Lamb went 7 for 98 and a touchdown, a long of 55. Jake Ferguson went 7 for 49. Jalen Tolbert went 3 for 24. Brandon Cooks went 1 for 16. And Rico Dowdle went 1 for 15 and a touchdown. On defense, 1 sack. by DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's hurt. He got hurt. I believe he's on IR, unfortunately. Amani Oruwariye, he caught a pick. But that was it. 20 points. And it didn't look like they were really moving the ball. The CeeDee Lamb, it was kind of a blown coverage, bad angle by the safety, Deontay Banks, excuse me. Other than that, that was it. It was CeeDee Lamb and Prey. That was that offense. Daniel Jones, 29 of 40. Why are we having him throw the ball 40 times? Dayball. This is Daniel Jones. Not Josh Allen. Not Mahomes. Not Peyton Manning. Not Brady. Not Breeze. This is not even Phillip Rivers. This is not Kirk Cousins. This is Daniel Jones. 40 times, bro. Come on. 281 yards. He averaged 7 yards of completion. Or 7 yards an attempt. 1 interception, no touchdowns. 1 sack for -4 yards. A QBR of 59.6. A rating of 81.4. Garbage. Devin Singletary won 14 carries for 24 yards. 1.7 yards a carry. So, what we were saying about the Dallas defense, that they can't, that they can't, defend the run, especially in the interior. They did. Now, this is the Giants. This is not the Vikings, the Packers, some people that could, the 49ers, people, the Rams, the people that can run the ball. It's not this. So, this is not the Eagles. Yeah, they held 26 yards rushing. Pathetic. Malik went 12 for 115. Average of 9.6 yards a catch, a long of 39. That was the first play of the game. On 15 targets, I like that target share. Keep that there, Danny, because there's nobody else on this team besides Wan'Dale Robinson that should be getting more than 10 targets. It should be a Malik and Wan'Dale Robinson show. Maybe some Darius Slayton, maybe a pass to Theo Johnson. Jalen Hyatt is fucking non-existent. Sorry for the language, but he's non-existent. Theo Johnson's maybe getting to the offense a little bit, but it's all about Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale had 11 for 71 on 14 targets, along with 11. Malik is the truth, bro. The truth. Can't wait till this man actually gets a quarterback that does him justice. But right now, it's going well. As for turnovers, Giants defense had 1 sack. Kayvon Thibodeau. That was it. Nothing else. If we just look at this game from the outside, this game was boring, man. Malik getting the ball a little bit, but other than that, shit was boring. Micah got neutralized. He didn't do nothing. Just run away from him, basically. If not, run at him and trap him. That's basically what they're doing. He's much better pass. He's a pass rusher, not a run stopper. But he could stop the run, but he's not a run stopper. He's not a DT. He's not a nose tackle. So Giants suck. It's unfortunate, but that's what they are. And Dallas is mid and will continue to be mid. Okay? Next, Broncos-Jets, another mid-off. Boy, rainy. You thought they were going to run the ball because it was rainy. No, they tried passing it. Failed on both sides. This shit ended 10-9. Broncos win in New York. Listen, on Red Zone, this game came on about 4 times. That was it. And to be perfectly honest, I don't understand nor comprehend how you have Breece Hall and you don't use him in every single way possible when you get the chance, especially in a game like this. Rainy, small, foggy, musty, like, dredgy. Like, I don't understand why you don't use him more. Cortland Sutton kind of showed up this game. Bo Nix went 12 for 25, 60 yards. They won, by the way. He went 12 for 25 for 60 yards. He averaged 2.4 yards an attempt. 2.4 yards. Can you believe that? That is incredible. 1 touchdown. A QBR of 35.5, a rating of 67.9, just abysmal. Javonte Williams went 16 for 77, so better than 16 for 50. But they only ran for 126 yards. Jaleel McLaughlin went 9 for 46. Cortland Sutton went 3 for 60. Remember I told you that all they got was 60 passing yards? All Cortland Sutton on 3 catches, on 9 targets. So Cortland gets targeted a lot, but the catches don't come down. Why? Well, accuracy. That's what I'm thinking. Cortland caught 1 pass for 29 yards and caught 2 more passes for a total of 31 yards. That's what we're looking at. Michael Burton, 1 for 3 yards, but it all got negated by Troy Flanken, 2 for -2 yards. Tyler Beatty, 2 for -4 yards. So that just brings down the total to just 60. Cortland Sutton. Javonte Williams caught 2 for 3 yards, but it got canceled out. The defense, PJ Locke had a sack on a blitz. That was nice. You had John Franklin Myers with a sack, Nick Bonito with a sack, half a sack for Malcolm Roach, half a sack for Jonah Ellis. So they were back there. 5 sacks in total. They were back there. But let's go to the Jets, bro. Aaron Rodgers. Remember I told you that it was rainy, foggy, musty. Not like beautiful weather. This man proceeded to go 24 of 42. It's raining. 42 for 225 yards. Average of 5.4 yards an attempt. 5 sacks for -41 yards. A QBR of 31.6 and a rating of 72. The running game was 64 yards. Brandon Allen went 8 carries for 34. Aaron Rodgers went 5 carries for 26. And Breece Hall got 10 carries for 4 yards. Breece Hall carried the ball 10 times, got 4 yards. 0.4 yards a carry. Breece Hall, top 5 running back in the league. They averaged 2.8 yards a carry as a team. Mike Williams went 4 for 67 on a long of 22, so you know how much the rest were. Not a lot. Allen Lazard went 5 for 58, a long of 25, so like I said, not a lot. Garrett Wilson went 5 for 41, a long of 23, so not a lot. 5 targets for Mike Williams, 4 receptions. 8 targets for Allen Lazard, 5 receptions. 8 targets for Garrett Wilson, 5 receptions. Tyler Conklin, 4 catches for 17 yards on 8 targets. Breece Hall, 2 catches for 14 yards on 5 targets. So like targets are not getting done. Garrett Wilson lost a fumble. On the defensive side, no sacks. Quincy Williams, DJ Reed, no sacks. 0 against the Broncos. Wow. Will McDonald, Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. No interceptions. So this what this told me This game told me 10-9. The Broncos are figuring it out, but they have no weapons. For the Jets, this is the second year on a 2-year deal of Aaron Rodgers. And he went on McAfee today. He said, relax. We're only 4 weeks in. Buddy, you're not getting any younger. And you got to win. And win big. And what I'm seeing, you don't win shit. You might not even make the playoffs. Now, because the division's so banged up with the Dolphins and Tua, and then you got, the shit stain that is the Patriots, maybe you squeeze into a wild card spot, because the Browns are bad, the Jaguars are bad, so maybe the Raiders are bad, so maybe you squeeze in. But you're not winning nothing. Nothing. Okay, that was embarrassing. 9-10 at your house, and it's rainy, and you give Breece Hall 10 carries. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. Now let's get to a real game. Vikings-Packers. Vikings win 31-29, so I got it wrong. Jordan Love played, I don't want to say well, but I don't want to say bad. He played mid. At the beginning of the game, he played bad. Picks, overthrows, just didn't look like he could move. It looked like the MCL was still bothering him. As the game went on, he got better. One guy that came out off the chute, out the gate, saying I'm him, Sam Darnold. Boy, we are a long way from I'm seeing ghost against the Patriots. This just teaches me, and this should teach all of you, the Jets and the Browns are the two worst quarterback development teams in the league. You could throw Carolina in there, but I give them props for Cam. No, you got to throw them in there. Yeah, they haven't developed any quarterbacks since Cam. So, Jets, can we throw the Raiders in there? Yeah. Jets, Raiders, Cleveland, and Jets, Raiders, Cleveland. I think those are the worst teams. Oh, and Carolina. Those are the worst teams those are the worst teams at developing quarterbacks, especially young ones. Boy, do they suck. And they've sucked for years. For years. Okay, same thing with Pittsburgh. Can't develop quarterbacks. Now with Justin Fields, maybe a little something here and there, but before that, none. Because Ben was Ben. Yeah, you developed him maybe first 2 years, but Ben was Ben. Bart Starr was Bart Starr. I mean, not Bart Starr. Excuse me. Terry Bradshaw was Terry Bradshaw. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are your only Super Bowls. That's it. Terry Bradshaw, Ben Roethlisberger. That's it. Okay? 31-29. Minnesota, 4-0. Battling with the number one team in the league right now. Battling. And I would give them the edge because that Brian Flores defense is insane. All right, let's get to the box score. Sam Darnold went 20 for 28, very efficient, 275, 9.8 yards an attempt, 3 touchdowns and a pick, 2 sacks for 21 yards, 72.5 QBR, 123.4 rating. Aaron Jones, back at Lambeau, after they let him go for Josh Jacobs, 22 carries, 93 yards, 4.2 yards a carry, a long of 17. Very, very nice. Jordan Addison ran a touchdown in from 7 yards. Justin Jefferson had 6 catches, 85 yards, and a touchdown, a beautiful touchdown. I'm talking about like the pinpoint accuracy, and then for JJ to somehow find a way to get a sliver of separation so he could pin it against his chest. Absolutely incredible. Jordan Addison looks like he hasn't left. Back 3 for 72 on 4 targets. Made the targets count. A long of 29. That was a touchdown. The first touchdown of the game. And then you have Aaron Jones, 4 for 46 on 5 targets. Good for him. Jalen Naylor went 1 for 31. Josh Oliver caught the first touchdown, I believe. He went 2 for 10 on 2 targets, so he caught both of them. Sam Darnold did fumble, did lose it. Jalen Naylor did fumble, did lose it. Sacks, they had 1. It came from Pat Jones the second. Interceptions, they had 3. Shaquille Griffin. I haven't heard that name in a while. Kamu Grugier-Hill. And Byron Murphy Jr., of course, ball hawk. Just the overall team win on both sides, offense and defense. Although they did allow 29, but it wasn't the type of 29 where, like, it was 14-0 in the first quarter. Then it was 28-7 at half. Nobody scored in the third. And then the Packers put up 22-3 in the fourth quarter trying to make a comeback. That's when Jordan Love finally got comfortable, started throwing to Jayden Reed, threw 2 touchdowns to Daltavian Wicks. He started being the Jordan Love we know. So Jordan Love, 32 of 54. What? What are we doing throwing the ball 52 times? I know you're behind, but boy, how many times did you rush? 19 carries to 54 pass attempts. That is ridiculous imbalance at the offensive side of the ball. Holy shit, LaFleur. Okay, so he went 32 for 54, 389, so you know, good yardage, 77.2 an attempt, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, 1 sack for 10 yards, a QBR of 61.7, and a rating of 83. Josh Jacobs went 9 for 51. And that was pretty much it. Emmanuel Wilson went 8 for 27. Yeah. Jayden Reed went 7 catches on 8 targets for 139 yards and a touchdown and a long of 42. This is your number 1 receiver. I said it last year when I saw him pop from week 10 to the playoffs. And this year I said that their number 1 receiver, even with Dobbs, Melton, Kraft, Wicks, Musgrave, Christian Watson, it was going to be Jayden Reed. Why? He runs the best routes. He has the best hands. And he plays kind of like Debo. Has that dog in him. So 7 for 139. Whoever has him in fantasy, good job on drafting. Dontavian Wicks went 5 for 78. He was on my bench, caught 2 touchdowns, but I still won this week. Tucker Kraft went 6 for 53. That's the second tight end. Romeo Doubs went 4 for 39. Bo Melton went 1 for 28. Josh Jacobs went 4 for 27. Luke Musgrave went 3 for 13. That should be their starting tight end. Malik Heath went 2 for 12. You know what Christian Watson did? 1 target, 0 yards, 0 catches. Listen, I loved him coming out of North Dakota State. Loved the speed. He had some drop problems. He scored 9 touchdowns in his rookie year after being hurt and coming back and being hurt again. What is Jordan Love looking at sometimes? Now, I know you got Jayden Reed, but like you rather throw to Tucker Kraft 9 times instead of Christian Watson? Malik Heath, throw him twice, threw Malik to Christian once. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate that a guy that got drafted so high, I believe 33rd pick of the second round, if not the 32nd pick of the first round, with such a good rookie season, just can't get no targets, can't get no looks. Jayden Reed is that good. Tucker Kraft fumbled and lost one. And Edgerrin Cooper, the linebacker, he recovered one. And so did Bo Milton. Quay Walker had a sack. Good for him. Keyshawn Nixon had a sack. Good for him on a cornerback blitz, a cap blitz. And that was it. They had 2 sacks. Xavier McKinney, the old man, he caught a pick. And that was it for the Packers. Listen, I saw this game, and it was a blowout and a blowout and a blowout. And then we got into the fourth quarter, and I need to ask myself this. And I need to ask everybody this. If you guys have an answer, a good one, something with intelligence, I would like to know. But I think it's just psychological. And I think only special people have what is called the killer instinct, especially in football. When you have a team down 28-7 at halftime, what are you doing in the second half to make that shit 31-29? First of all, you only scored 3 points in the second half. So there's a problem. And then second, how do you allow a team to put almost 30 on you in a half and more in a quarter? More like in a quarter, because they scored 22 in the fourth. You got to learn how to clock manage. You have Aaron Jones. Run the football. Run the football. Were you guys balanced? Let's see, KOC. I love KOC. Love him. But were you balanced? 34 carries, 28 pass attempts. Pretty balanced to me. Unlike Green Bay, 54-19. Listen, I'm going to say it right now. If B-Flow keeps this defense playing like it is, and Dallas Turner starts to really turn it up, because I don't think he's even playing. I didn't even see him on, I didn't see him on the defense. Dallas Turner ain't playing. Don't know what happened there. Hopefully he's playing, going on later. But I don't know why, but oh well. But shout out to the Vikings, 4-0. 4-0. Gets rid of Kirk Cousins, what happens? 4-0. Shout out to B-Flow, shout out to KOC, shout out to Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, shout out, of course, JJ, Jordan Addison. You're doing well. That defense, Harrison Smith, doing well. Byron Murphy, doing well. Davenport's hurt, so he's not even in. No Daniel Hunter. He's in Houston, and they're doing just fine because B-Flow is an animal at scheming defense. Saints-Falcons. We picked the Falcons here, and they won on a Young Hoku last-second field goal. 58-yarder. Now, what do I got to say about this game? Still do not like what I'm seeing from the Falcons offense. Not enough Kyle Pitts. Not enough Drake London. A lot of Darnell Mooney, which I believe that's his number one because he likes those guys that can get in and out of cuts. He loved JJ. You look at his time, I believe. Oh, man, I don't remember his number one receiver. Was it Pierre Garçon when he was at the in Washington? Might have been Pierre Garçon, his number one receiver. I remember he was a number one receiver one year in Washington after the Colts. But just not enough. Not enough Bijan. Not enough Kyle Pitts. Not enough. They're still figuring it out. You can still tell that the offense is not fully clicking yet. But they did it just enough. Derek Carr, if we go on the Saints side, 28 for 36. Pretty accurate. 239 yards, 6.6 yards in attempt. No touchdowns, 1 pick, 1 sack for 4 yards, a QBR of 39.7. How do you go 28 for 36 and your QBR is 39.7? Your rating is 82.8. You know why? Because you don't throw no touchdowns, you throw a pick. That's why. And you're throwing short. 6.6 yards an attempt, that's nothing. Alvin Kamara went 19 for 77 and a touchdown. Did pretty well on both sides, catching and running. Taysom Hill went 6 for 24, but he got hurt. He scored 2 touchdowns, but he got hurt. We'll see how he's doing. Chris Olave went 8 for 87 on 10 targets. I would like him over 100 yards, but I'll take the 87 on 8 catches. Rashee Shaheed went 8 for 83 on 11 targets. Derek Carr really likes Rashee Shaheed. Now, he also played with Henry Ruggs in the Raiders, so he likes his speedsters. He likes throwing the ball down the field. Alvin Kamara went 7 for 42 on 9 targets. Jawan Johnson caught 2 for 13 yards. Jamal Williams went 2 for 8 on 2 targets. The defense, they had 1 sack coming from Peyton Turner. Chase Young had some solo tackles. He has nice. He had QB pressure, QB hit. So I like how he's looking. He has to look a little bit way more dominant, but I like how he's looking. Paulson Debo caught a pick. And yeah, that was it for the Saints. Not much, just a lot of Chris Olave, AK looking good, but not a lot of getting into the paint in the red zone. If we look at how it scored, it was 7-7 at the end of one. Then you go 17-14 at halftime. They both scored 3 points in the third. So it's 20-17. Saints score 7 in the fourth, and then the Falcons score 6 with a 58-yard bomb from Young Hoku. The Falcons, Kirk Cousins, 21 for 35, 238, 6.8. No touchdowns and a pick. A sack of 11 yards, a QBR of 28.5. And then a rating of 68.5. Tyler Algier got more carries than Bijan, but they ran the ball 15 times and threw it 35 times. No balance. Tyler Algier went 8 for 60. Bijan went 7 for 28. Drake London went 6 catches for 64 yards on 12 targets. If you're only catching half of your targets, something's going on there. Darnell Mooney went 3 for 56 on 6 targets, a long of 36. Ray-Ray McCloud went 6 for 52, a long of 15 on 7 targets. Bijan went 4 for 46 on 4 targets, a long of 26. Tyler Algier went 2 for 20. Kyle Pitts, 3 targets, 0 catches, 0 yards. I don't understand. Cordero Hodge recovered a fumble. Kirk fumbled, but they recovered it because it doesn't say lost. And then Matthew Bergeron also recovered a fumble. As for their defense, they got 1 sack. And it came from D. Alford on a cornerback blitz. Their defense is playing okay. But I expect, at least for Matthew Judon, I expect more. And I don't know why they gave up 24 points, considering they have Bates and Simmons back there. But I think they'll get better. Interceptions, Troy Anderson took it back to the crib on 47 yards. And this game was half boring, half good. When they were scoring, good. And not scoring, boring. Mid off as of right now. They're both 2-2. We're gonna get to Tampa, of course. You know, this division, not counting the Panthers, even though the Panthers now have a quarterback in Sam Darnold, this could be the biggest mid-off for a division championship I've ever seen. And it could be Tampa Bay. Maybe the Falcons. Maybe the Saints. Never know. I don't think the Carolina Panthers are doing anything. Speaking of the Bucs, Eagles, Buccaneers. We went Eagles here. Big mistake. No Devontae Smith. No A.J. Brown. We should have known that, but we didn't at the time. No Lane Johnson. That was also a big blow. 33-16. Eagles look discombobulated. Don't give Saquon the ball enough. Jalen looks kind of disinterested. After the game, the interview when he was with the media, Jalen Hurts saying we have our moments when they ask, like, is there anything you say to the team or Nick Sirianni to get the boys cooking? We have our moments. You don't want that from your starting quarterback, but that's what they got over there. He went 18 for 30, 158, 1 touchdown, no picks, 6 sacks for 44 yards. That's horrible. 56.6 yard QBR, a rating of 85.1. Saquon ran the ball 10 times. You passed the ball 30, you ran it 20. And the funniest thing is he ran the ball 10 times for 84 yards. He was popping them at 8.4 yards a carry, and they gave the ball only to him 10 times. And a long of 59 in the second half. Jalen Hurts went 8 for 20 and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert was his leading receiver. He's also a safety blanket, 7 for 62 on 8 targets. Saquon Barkley, 2 for 32 on 4 targets. Grant Calcaterra, 1 catch for 26 yards. Paris Campbell caught the touchdown, 4 for 17 on 4 targets. Jahan Dotson, 4 targets, 2 catches for 11 yards. I don't know why he's not producing more. Yeah, but they passed the ball for 158 yards and 18 attempts, so 18 receptions. It's nothing. Defensively, they got 2 sacks. Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, shout out to Old Faithful. Darius Slay had a good play, played pretty well. Bryce Huff is not making any impact yet. I don't understand what's going on there. He used to be a beast. Nakobe Dean had 7 tackles. Darius Slay led the team in tackles with 9. That means a lot of stuff was in the secondary. That's not good. Quinyon Mitchell had 6 tackles. That's nice. 6 solo tackles for the rookie. Jalen Hurts fumbled twice, lost 1. Cooper DeJean fumbled a punt, and it was returned for a touchdown. Bounced into the end zone, returned for a touchdown. Baker Mayfield, 30 for 47, so 47 pass attempts. But he went 347, 7.4 yards an attempt, two touchdowns, no picks, 2 sacks for 13 yards, 74.8 QBR, 100.2 passer rating. Bucky Irving ran the ball 10 times for 49 yards. Rachaad White ran the ball 10 times for 49 yards. Bucky got a touchdown later in the game. Mike Evans went 8 for 94 and a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game on an out route to the bigger side of the field, to the open field. Just couldn't catch him. Beautiful ball from Baker. Nothing you can do. Chris Godwin was 6 for 69 on 9 targets. Mike had 14 targets, only caught 8. Would be nice to add a little bit to that total, but he's a deep threat, so, sometimes you miss. K. Dotton went 6 for 52 on 9 targets. Sterling Shepard, new helmet in a old face in a new place, coming from the Giants, 3 for 51 on 5 targets. Rashad got 35 yards on 2 catches. Trey Palmer went 3 for 26 on 3 targets. And Bucky caught a pass, 1 for 6 yards on 2 targets. Baker Mayfield fumbled, but he recovered it. As for their defense, they got 6 sacks. They were active. Levante David got 2 sacks. Anthony Nelson got 1 sack. Vita Vea got a sack, and he was stopping the run. Vita Vea was stopping the run. He stopped the run at the goal line. Vita Vea is amazing. Anytime he's in there, he was in there. He was in there again this past weekend because last week he wasn't. And it's just Vita Vea, man. He's a hell of a nose tackle. Can play 2-3 technique. Just big body, quick, and can stop the run for sure. Then you had Yaya Diaby with a sack. And those were your sacks. No interceptions. And that was it, man. 33-16. People are calling about Eagles and Sirianni and what are you doing? Guys, no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith, no Lane Johnson. Like, come on. Listen. How are you going to blame them? Now, could have done better. But how are you going to blame them if they don't have their number one, number two, and best offensive lineman? That makes no sense. Now, what could they have done better? Not give Saquon just 10 carries. That would have been nice. But when you look at how the game went, you understand it a little bit. They were already down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Then it was 24-7. So there was no running the ball. Then in the third quarter, they get 9 as the Buccaneers get 6. So it's 30-16, and then they don't score in the fourth, and the Buccaneers add on a field goal. And that's how you get to 33. But you got to give the ball to Saquon more, bro. He's your best player, especially with no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith. You just got to. Bengals, Panthers. We picked the Bengals. We said Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins were going to what? Wake up. That's what happened. Thank God. Because we were wondering. They go to 1-3. Try to get off the schneid. The Panthers go to 1-3. Joe Burrow went 22 for 31 for 232, 7.5 yards an attempt. 2 touchdowns and a pick. No sacks. QBR of 88.2 and a rating of 100.5. Chase Brown went 15 carries for 80 yards, a long of 20 and 2 touchdowns. Zach Moss went 15 for 51. Jamar Chase, 3 catches for 85 yards, including a gorgeous, only Jamar Chase type of touchdown where he catches it, breaks 2 tackles, then outruns the defense. That's Jamar Chase for you. That's why he's the top 3 receiver in this league. So the touchdown was 63 yards. T. Higgins went 6 for 60 on 10 targets, so he targeted more than Chase, which was surprising. But he caught 6 of them for 60. Yoshivash caught 1 for 29. It was a big play. Eric All went 4 for 28 on 4 targets. Mike Gesicki, 1 catch, -9 yards. That's not good. Their defense, no sacks, 1 interception by Von Bell, returned it 32 yards. No touchdown. Against this offensive line of the Panthers, I thought that they would do a lot more, but no sacks. If we go to the Panthers, Sam Darnold, Andy Dalton, went 25 for 40, 220, 5.5 yards, an attempt, 2 touchdowns, a pick, no sacks, 61.2 QBR, 83.3 passer rating. Chuba Hubbard went 18 for 104. Very nice. Very nice. Miles Sanders went 6 for 32. I don't know why Chuba Hubbard has the number 1 spot, but it is what it is. So if they can run the ball with Chuba Hubbard, 18 for 104, averaging 5.8 yards a carry and a touchdown, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Deontay Johnson went 7 for 83, 11.9 yards a catch, a touchdown on 13 targets, so he's looking for him. Xavier Legette got 10 targets. That's why you draft him. Caught his first touchdown, 6 for 66 yards on 10 targets. Jonathan Mingo, don't know what he's doing. He's 3 for 24 on 5 targets. Jatavion Sanders, the rookie tight end from Texas, he went 2 for 16 on 2 targets. And they've completely forgot about Miles Sanders in this offense. Their defense, 0 sacks. Xavier Woods, the old man, with the interception, a 33-yard return. But that's it. That's it. Bengals were supposed to win this game. They were on the road. Didn't matter. They were supposed to win this game. If they didn't lose this game, it would have been panic time. Not panic time. 34-24. It was a pretty dominant performance, I would say. It was 7-0 after the first quarter. 21-14 at half. It got to It got to 31-21 in the third, and then they added 3 points to get it to 34-24. So pretty dominant effort by the Bengals. Good to get themselves off the schneid. Okay? Next, Jaguars-Texans. We picked the Texans because we knew that the Texans were good. Jax goes to 0-4, so there's going to be some questions there. Doug Peterson's already getting questions. I don't know why, because it's Doug Peterson. I don't think that they're going to fire him. I think Shad Khan is going to fire him. Now, before we get into the stats, I think it's time. Boy, did I like Trevor Lawrence at Clemson. But in the NFL, if you put up Daniel Jones stats against his, eerily similar. Oh, man. And for a guy who has every single possible physical attribute that you want, the size, the arm, the speed, the running ability, everything you want in a franchise quarterback, but boy, he cannot process for his life. And when he does process, it's a 50-50 shot that he makes the throw. Now, he can make an amazing throw. He can make a Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Mahomes throw, but boy, can he make some Daniel Jones, Gardner Minshew, Deshaun Watson type of stuff, man. Some Bryce Young, it's so up and down, and you cannot be up and down in the AFC. They're going to eat you alive. So they're 0-4. Unfortunate, Trevor, I think, just doesn't have it. Because with Doug Peterson, you got to show something, bro. Some type of life. He went 18 for 33 for 169. 2 touchdowns, no picks, a sack for 14 yards, 43 QBR, 89.1 rating. Tank Bigsby went 7 carries for 90 yards, averaged 12.9 yards a carry, so the Texans got to watch out for that run defense. Travis Etienne went 11 for 50, so 4.5 yards a carry. So they take him down, Travis, a little bit. Brian Thomas Jr., 6 for 86, caught a touchdown on 9 targets. That should be his number 1 receiver. That kid is special. He should be his number 1 receiver. Christian Kirk got 12 targets, though. 7 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown. Brenton Strange, the tight end, he went 3 for 19 on 3 attempts. Travis Etienne caught 1 pass for 10 yards on 2 targets. Gabe Davis went 1 for -2 on 5 targets. Don't know how that happens. And Trevor Lawrence tried to catch a pass, and he caught one, but actually, no, he didn't catch one. He just got -5 yards. Trevor Lawrence fumbled, but didn't lose it. Travis Etienne recovered the Trevor Lawrence fumble. As for their defense, they got two sacks. Roy Robertson Harris and Jeremiah Ledbetter. Still, we haven't seen nothing from. We haven't seen anything from Trayvon Walker. Nothing. 1 tackle. No pressures. Number 1 pick. What is happening there? You guys cannot develop your picks. Why? No interceptions. Just meh. Texans, CJ Stroud, 27 for 40, 345, 8.6 yards an attempt. 2 touchdowns, no picks, 2 sacks for 11 yards, 74.8 QBR, 110.9 rating. Cam Akers went 13 for 53. Remember, no Joe Mixon right now. 13 for 53. J.J. Taylor went 6 for 18. Nico Collins, 12 for 151. Leading receiver in the NFL after week 4. A touchdown, a long of 26 on 15 targets. That's what I like, baby. I have him on my fantasy team, and that's what I like. He's the number 1. I knew Stephon Diggs' addition was not going to change that. The guy that's really, he's not even on this thing. He didn't get targeted or nothing. He was hurt. Tank was hurt. Stephon Diggs went 5 for 69 on 9 targets, so he's still looking for him. Dare Omunwale caught the game-winning touchdown. He went 3 for 34. Cade Stover went 1 for 27. Robert Woods went 1 for 10. John Mechie went 1 for 7. Dalton Schultz went 3 for 34 on 5 targets. Steven Sims lost a fumble. Their defense got 1 sack. That 1 sack was by Eric Murray, so no signs of Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson in this one. No interceptions. Yeah, this was just a meh game. Texans pulled it out at the end, winning. The Jaguars were winning. It was 10-7 after the first quarter. Jaguars winning. 13-17. Texans winning at the half. Jaguars score. Texans don't score. So it goes back to 20-17. And then the Texans win with a touchdown at the end. With a CJ Stroud game-winning drive. I think the Texans are going to play better, especially when they get Tank back. As for Jacksonville, 2 things. You have to involve Travis Etienne more. Have to. Second, when you get Evan Ingram back, I think that the passing game will be more balanced out. And then third, Brian Thomas is your number 1. Brian Thomas Jr. is your number 1. Now, you can use him and Christian Kirk in very good ways, but you cannot forget about Gabe Davis. Cannot forget about Gabe Davis, okay? Hopefully you guys win because you're 0-4 right now. That's unfortunate. Who's your next game? The Bears. You could win, but it's in Chicago. It's in Chicago. All right. Colts Steelers. We went with the Steelers here. We lost. Now, this is why I don't give you guys the benefit of the doubt. This is why I literally say it's TJ Watt and pray. Because let me guess. I'll tell you this right now. You guys lost, right? Did TJ Watt get a sack? No. TJ Watt did not get a sack. TJ Watt didn't get a sack. You lost. What an interesting correlation. TJ Watt and pray. You have a somewhat, and I'm going to say somewhat competent offense. Somewhat competent. I love George Pickens. Love Pratt Freiermuth. Justin Fields up and down, showing a little something, but we're not there yet. But, to lose to Joe Flacco because Anthony Richardson gets a hit pointer? Come on, man. Seriously? A 17-year vet in Joe Flacco just cooks you for 2 touchdowns after AR it was cooking you already? Because this was a cooking, guys. This shouldn't have been this close. 14-0 after the first quarter. 17-3 at halftime. Steelers score, so it's 17-10. And then Steelers scored twice in the fourth quarter to make it close 24-27 because Colts scored 10. Are you kidding me? It wasn't supposed to be close. But Justin Fields going to get close. So, Justin Fields, 22 for 34. 312 yards. Wow, he passed over 300. Wow. 9.2 yards an attempt. 1 touchdown, no picks. 4 sacks for minus 30 yards. QBR of 60.4 and a rating of 104. Wow, Justin Fields. Wow. Pretty balanced offense. 34 pass attempts to 30 runs. Justin Fields was their leading rusher, 10 for 55 and 2 touchdowns. Cordero Patterson was the next, 6 for 43. Najee Harris, 13 for 9 yards, 1.5 yards a carry. Why do you keep giving this man the ball? Guys, he can't run. Concrete feet. Him and Ezekiel Elliott are the 2 slowest starting running backs in the league. That is embarrassing. One's Ohio State, one's from Alabama. That's embarrassing. George Pickens, 7 receptions, 113 yards, no touchdown. Long of 38, which was nice, on 11 targets. Keep looking for him, Justin. That's what you need to do. Pat Freiermuth, 5 for 57, 7 targets and a touchdown. Najee Harris, 3 for 54, on 6 targets, a long of 32. Better than his running. Darnell Washington caught 2 for 31 and a long of 20 on two targets. Calvin Austin went 1 for 17 on 1 target. I think they should target him a little bit more. Justin Fields fumbles twice, recovers 1, loses 1. George Pickens fumbles, he loses 1. Their defense goes 2 sacks, 1 from Cameron Hayward and half a sack from Uninjobi and Benny Bishop. Like I said, TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, no Alex Highsmith in this game. But, nothing to do. The Colts offensive line is actually pretty good. If we go to the Colts, did they have any I don't think they had any picks. Nope, no picks. If you go to the Colts, Joe Flacco goes 16 for 26, 168. Anthony Richardson goes 3 for 4 for 71. 17.8 yards a pass attempt. This man is slinging the ball down the field. 6.5 for Flacco. 2 touchdowns, no picks for Flacco. 2 sacks for 14 yards, 66.8 QBR, 105.9 rating. Anthony Richardson went 36.8 QBR. That's because of the least amount of pass attempts. But he went on 116.7 rating. If we go into the running, it was the Jonathan Taylor show. Thank God it was the JT show. That's what we needed. 21 for 88 and a touchdown. Anthony Richardson, 3 for 24 and a hit pointer. Michael Pittman Jr. went 6 receptions for 113 on 9 targets, and he was getting looked at by Anthony Richardson before Joe Flacco came in, so that was a good sign. Josh Downs caught a touchdown from Flacco, 8 for 82 and a touchdown on 9 targets. Jonathan Taylor went 3 for 20 on 4 targets. Alec Pierce, 1 for 9 on 2 targets. Adonai Mitchell, 3 targets, 0 catches. This man, I believe, has 2 receptions for the whole season. 32 yards. What are we doing with this kid? What are we doing? He could be your number 2 behind Pittman. I don't understand it. Anthony Richardson fumbled. He didn't lose it. Chris Lamons recovered. Julian Blackmon recovered. And Tanner Bortolini, their center, he also recovered a fumble. Their defense got 4 sacks. You got half one from Julian Blackmon on a blitz. You got Chris Lamons on a blitz. You got 1.5 from Dayo Odejingbo, 1.5. And you got half from Grover Stewart and half from Tyquan Lewis. No picks. Just a lesson in basically what I say as if you don't score on defense, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you don't get a turnover, if you don't score on defense, you're most likely going to lose against the top echelon of the league. Now, the Colts are not the top echelon, but they have competent. They Shane Steichen, you gotta understand that if all you believe in and you pray and your whole game plan is around TJ Watt getting sacks, that's not going to work. Now, 312 for Justin Fields, nice. But it has to lead the wins. And since TJ Watt didn't get a sack, you guys didn't win. And you were on the road. Rams-Bears. I picked the Bears. I just felt that with no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua, a battered offensive line, I think that, I just thought that the Bears would have enough on that defense, and that's exactly what happened. You had it was 3-0 Rams after the first quarter, 10-6 Bears at halftime, 17-9 after the third quarter, and then the Rams tried to come back, scored 9, but the Bears scored 7, 24-18. Matthew Stafford went 20 for 29, 224, 7.7 an attempt. No touchdowns and a pick. 3 sacks for 21 yards, 54 QBR, 77.4 rating. Kyren Williams went 19 for 94 yards. I have him on my team, so good. 4.9 yards a carry. Ronnie Rivers went 6 for 26. They passed the ball 29. They ran the ball 26, so I don't have nothing to say about the balance. That was pretty good. Tutu Atwell went 4 for 82 on 6 targets. Jordan Whittington went 6 for 62 on 8 targets. DeMarcus Robinson went 2 for 37 on 3 targets. Colby Parkinson went 4 for 33 on 7 targets. Wow. Colby Parkinson got the most targets. Should have been Tutu or Jordan, but that boy loves his tight ends. Matthew Stafford fumble and he lost it. If we're looking at their defense, they got 3 sacks. Michael Hoyt got a sack. Braden Fisk got I believe his first sack ever. Yep, his first professional sack out of FSU, the rookie. And Quentin Lake on a blitz got a sack. If we look at, I want to look real quick at Jared Verse if he has a sack. He has 1 sack. Okay. 1 sack. So both rookies from FSU have 1 sack each. No picks. Just didn't have enough. And you could tell they didn't have enough because the Bears were really focusing on Kyren Williams, even though he got 94 yards on 19 carries. He's a good running back, but they were really focused on not letting Stafford find those windows and just held Kyren in check for the most part. As for Caleb, he went 17 for 23, 157. Still, not crazy, but they won. 6.8 yards an attempt, 1 touchdown, no picks. The touchdown was to DJ Moore. 3 sacks for 24 yards. Got to clean that up. 39.1 QBR, 106.6 rating. DeAndre Swift finally had a good game. That's what I was expecting from him. He's a good running back. I don't know why he was getting bottled up. 16 for 93, 5.8 yards a carry, a touchdown. Roschon Johnson was 7 for 26 and a touchdown. DeAndre Swift was also their leading receiver, 7 for 72 on 7 targets. Cole Kmet was 3 for 34 on 3 targets. DJ Moore went 3 for 22 and a touchdown on 6 targets. I don't understand that. Keenan went for three targets. He went 3 for 19. I don't understand that. Rome Odunze went 1 for 10 on 3 targets. I don't understand how DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze have 7 targets with 7 reception with combined, and a total of 12 targets, and DeAndre Swift have 7 targets by himself and 7 receptions. Caleb, you have 3 monsters. Throw the ball down the field, bro. You are 6.8 yards an attempt. Are you kidding me, bro? Come on. Open up the offense. They're talking about Shane Waldron. Maybe they don't like his offense, but, if you're winning, that really doesn't matter. Their defense played well. They had 3 sacks. You had Jervon Dexter Sr. got a sack. Montez Sweat got a sack. And Jaquan Brisker on a blitz, he got a sack. Jaquan Brisker also caught a pick. And Caleb didn't lose a fumble, but he fumbled. Matt Pryor recovered his fumble, and then Kyler Gordon also recovered a fumble. 24-18, another boring-ish game, if I'm being honest. Caleb has got to figure it out. If they give him a running game, it'll probably click faster. But he has to find Rome Odunze. He has to find DJ Moore. He has to find Keenan Allen. There's no way that within all of those, they have 12 targets and your running back has 7 targets by himself. That makes no sense. That makes no sense to me. Commanders, Cardinals. All right, let's talk about Jayden Daniels. Number 2 pick, just like CJ Stroud. This guy is leading the league at 82% in completion percentage. He had a 92% completion percentage, I think, last week. This week, another 90%, another 90+ percent. 26 of 30. 233 yards. 7.8 an attempt with, he's throwing the ball. He's not like down the field, but he's throwing the ball down the field. A touchdown and a pick. No sacks. QBR of 89.4 and a rating of 96.3. How the game went, 42-14. Yeah, that's how it went. It went 7-7 first quarter, 17-0 at halftime, 27-14 in the third, and then 15 straight points by the Commanders to finish it off 42-14 in the fourth. Brian Robinson Jr. went 21 carries for 101 yards. So 30 pass attempts to 37 runs. I like it. Good job, Cliff. Cliff called an incredible game this one. Jeremy McNichols went 8 for 68. Jayden Daniels ran 8 for 47. McNichols had 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson had a touchdown. Jayden Daniels had a touchdown. They ran for 216 yards as a team. Olamide Zaccheaus caught 6 catches for 85 yards on 6 targets. Terry McLaurin went 7 for 52 and a touchdown. A nasty touchdown in the back of the end zone. On 10 targets. So keep that target share up 10. Above 10 for Terry McLaurin. Noah Brown went 3 for 26 on 4 targets. Zach Ertz went 3 for 22 on 3 targets. Luke McCaffrey went 1 for 17 on 1 target. Brian Robinson caught 3 catches for 12 yards on 3 targets. Frankie Louvu recovered a fumble. Their defense played really well. They had 4 sacks. You had Darren Payne with half a sack. You had Dorrance Armstrong with a sack and a half. Frankie Louvu had a sack on a blitz. And Bobby had a sack on a blitz, Bobby Wagner. They had no picks. But against this Cardinal offense, which I expected a lot more from, this defense actually showed up. And I thought this defense was kind of suspect. We picked the Cardinals to win because they were at home and Marvin Harrison Jr. and everything. Marvin caught a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, really quickly on the first drive. We thought, okay, this is going to be a shootout. It's going to be good. Kyler went 16 for 22, 142, 6.5 yards an attempt, 1 touchdown, no picks, the one to Marvin. He went 4 sacks for 27 yards, 28.2 QBR, 104.7 rating. James Conner went 18 for 104, so another 100-yard rushing game and a touchdown. Trey Benson went 9 for 50. They passed the ball 22 times. They ran the ball 32 times. Marvin Harrison Jr. went 5 for 45 on 6 targets. We need to get those targets up, Kyler. We need to get more targets on Marvin Harrison Jr. We're looking for 10 plus, bro. You have to treat him like a Terry McLaurin. Michael Wilson went 3 for 38 on 7 targets, so he got more targets than Marvin. Greg Dortch went 4 for 38 on 4 targets. Elijah Higgins went 2 for 12 on 3 targets. Michael Wilson fumbled and lost a fumble. DJ Dallas fumbled. Froholt recovered that one. Amari DeMarcado recovered the other one. And Trey Benson fumbled as well. So sloppy play from the offense. Their defense didn't do nothing. No sacks. No picks. Nothing at all. 42-14, man. And the Washington Commanders are 3-0. Listen, I remember when I did my division predictions, and I said Eagles, Dallas, Commanders, Giants. But I did say that watch out for the Commanders, bro, because Jayden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn has that defense playing well. This team could be good. This team could be. I need to see it a little bit more, but I believe in Jayden Daniels wholeheartedly. This kid is insane. He's throwing the ball down the field, super accurate. I love what he's doing. His completion percentage this game was 86.7%, just outstanding. His QBR 89.4. His completion percentage for a season 82.1, higher than anybody in history. Over 4-game span ever. Tom Brady, Breeze, and Manning. Those are the guys on that list. 4 games, that type of completion percentage. Insane. And he runs like a gazelle, too. So shout out to the Commanders. Patriots, 49ers, we expected what we expected. 49ers wiped the floor. 30-13. 6-0 first quarter. 14 to actually, what would be that? 20-3 at the half. Patriots score in the third quarter, but so do the 49ers. 27 to 10, and then field goals for each, 30-13. Kittle with a disgusting touchdown over 3 people. Jacoby Brissett went 19 for 32, 168, 5.3, a touchdown and a pick, 6 sacks, 25 yards, 26.4 QBR, a rating of 70.8, just awful. Ramondre Stevenson, 13 for 43. They couldn't run lick. Antonio Gibson went 3 for 67 on 4 targets, along of 50, so he got 17 yards on the other 2. Jalen Polk went 3 for 30, along of 21, so on 7 targets, he caught three balls, 1 for 21 and the other one for 9 yards combined. Ramondre Stevenson went 14 for 19 on 5 targets. I mean, this team sucks, bro. Offensively, this team is garbage. Jacoby Brissett fumbled 3 times, lost a fumble, then recovered one. Ramondre fumbled and lost it. Just bad. Their defense got 1 sack. It came from De'Eric Wise Jr. Jabril Peppers caught a pick, but that was it. If we go to the 49ers, it was Brock Purdy, 15 for 27, 288. So nothing crazy, but 10.7 yards an attempt. 1 touchdown, 1 pick, a sack for 5 yards, 60.3 QBR, 89.7 rating. Jordan Mason, 24 carries for 123 yards. Just keep riding him. 5.1 yards a carry, 5.1 yards a carry, a touchdown, a long of 25. Debo ran for 14 yards. Jawan Jennings was their leading receiver, 3 catches for 88 yards on 6 targets. Debo went 3 for 58 on 5 targets. I need that target share to go up. Brandon Ayuk is getting left behind, 2 for 48 on 5 targets. George Kittle, 4 for 45 and a touchdown on 4 targets. Kyle Juszczyk caught a ball for 12 yards. Mason caught 2 balls for 37, a long of 24. Brock Purdy fumbled, but he didn't lose it. Isaac Guerrero fumbled and lost it. Malik Collins recovered 1. Nick Bosa recovered 1, and Jordan Mason recovered 2 of them. Their defense went 6 sacks. They dominated. You had Evan Anderson with a sack, 1.5 sacks for Malik Collins, 2.5 sacks for Kevin Givens. Had a sack for Nick Bosa. Just dominant. Interception. Fred Warner had a pick 6, jumped up in the middle of a crossing route, jumped up, got back up because nobody touched him, ran it into the end zone. Yeah, man. San Francisco looks the part. They're 2-2, but they looked the part for sure. They have no CMC, and they lost them for the season. So Achilles tendonitis on both legs. You don't play with tendonitis. It's just like elbow tendonitis for tennis players and baseball and pitchers. You just don't play with that. You let that go down, so you don't heighten your risk to tear both of your Achilles. That would be bad as CMC. We go to the Raiders and Browns, another shit fest, essentially. 10-0 Browns after the first quarter, 10-10 at halftime, 20-10 at the third quarter in favor of the Raiders, and then the Browns score 6, but 20-16, Raiders win. I thought the Browns were going to win because of the defense, but no. Deshaun Watson went 24 for 32, 176, 5.5 yards an attempt, nothing. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 3 sacks for 27 yards, 36.4 QBR, 84.9 rating. Jerome Ford went 10 for 58. They ran the ball 22 times, passed the ball 32 times. That's not real balance. Jerome Ford had a 35-long run, so the rest of the 58 yards on the rest of the carries is nothing. Deshaun Watson ran for 32 yards on eight carries. Jerry Jeudy went 6 for 72. I think he's going to start looking for Jerry Jeudy more as his number 1 because of the route running. I just think that Amari dropped a couple of balls. Out of his 8 targets, he dropped like 3 of them. 1 was a touch, 2 of them were long touchdowns. So he's got to fix that. He's usually sure-handed. Jerome Ford caught 7 for 27 on 7 targets. Elijah Moore caught 1 for 11. So they're not even using him. Deshaun Watson fumbled and recovered his own fumble. And their defense had 2 sacks, one coming from Myles Garrett had 2 sacks. That was it. So Darius Smith didn't have one. No interceptions. If we go to the Raiders, Gardner Minshew went 14 for 24, 130. Even worse, 5.4 yards an attempt. 2 for 14 on sacks, so 2 sacks, 14 yards. 40.2 QBR, 73.3 rating. Alexander Madison went 5 carries for 60 yards. Zamir White, 17 for 50, 2.9 yards to carry. DJ Turner 1 for 18. Brock Bowers 1 for 12. Jacoby Myers went 5 for 49 on 10 targets. Trey Tucker went 5 for 41 on 6 targets. Harrison Bryant went 2 for 21 on 2 targets. Brock Bowers went 2 for 19 on 3 targets. Can you throw the ball to Brock Bowers, please? Please? I mean, come on. I don't think it's that hard. It's pretty tall, fast. You get open, route run. I think you should throw the ball to 89. One person that's not on here is Devontae Adams. He didn't play. I don't think so. Yeah, he didn't play. He's hurt. But Antonio Pierce got really cryptic on Twitter or on Instagram, liking a picture or a post that Devontae Adams had played his last snap for the Raiders. If I'm Devontae Adams, get me the hell out of there. Like now. Anywhere with a quarterback. Anywhere with competency. Anywhere with success. And I could show up. Zamir White lost a fumble. Their defense got 3 sacks, one by Charles Snowden, half by Janarius Robinson, half by Christian Wilkins, and one by Isaiah Polamau on a blitz. Trayvon Murray got a interception, and this was just a bad game, guys. It was just another boring 3 and out here, 3 and out there, field goal. Like it wasn't exciting at all. At all. Browns are 1-3. Raiders 2-2. And we don't care. Chiefs Chargers 17-10. 10-0. 10-0 for the Chargers. 10-7 after the first half. 10-10 after the third quarter, and then the Chiefs score one more in the fourth to make it 17-10. Real defensive game. We're going to talk about Rashee Rice. So Patrick Mahomes, 19 for 29, 245 yards, 8.5 yards an attempt, 1 TD, 1 interception, 3 sacks for 17 yards, 63.5 QBR, 89 rating. Kareem Hunt went 14 for 69. They ran the ball 26 times. They passed the ball 29 times. That's pretty good balance. They only ran the ball for 101 yards, though. Samaje Perine went 5 for 14 on the game-winning touchdown. Travis Kelce went 7 for 89 on 9 targets. That's the most we've ever seen from Travis Kelce this season. He showed up. He had to because Rashee Rice on really early in the game, a fumble happened. The Chargers picked it up. And as Rashee Rice went to go tackle the dude, the ball came out again, so the Chiefs recovered it. But in the meantime, while the ball was coming out, Patrick Mahomes tried to tackle the guy that was running with the ball, and he literally just tackled Rashee Rice's right knee. And it was feared to be an ACL. We don't know yet. They need more information, so it could be positive. It could be negative because it could be patellar damage as well. It was hyperextended, so the patellar might have gone as well. He was in real pain. Tower over his head in the carted off. So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully it's not as serious as we think. Xavier Worthy, 3 for 73, 1 for a 54-yard bomb on 4 targets. Noah Gray went 4 for 40. A long of 29 on 4 targets. Justin Watson, 2 for 27 on 3 targets. They're going to have to use Sky Moore now. They're going to have to use more Justin Watson. Maybe you go after Devontae Adams, but I doubt that the Raiders are going to trade him within the division. So you got to look for an Amari Cooper would be nice. Maybe make an inquiry about, Christian Kirk at the Jaguars. Maybe you make an inquiry about, if I'm thinking straight, Tyler Boyd in Tennessee. Maybe D-Hop in Tennessee. I'd rather have D-Hop than Calvin Ridley. I just from what I saw, it looks like D-Hop is more engaged. Plus Calvin drops the ball. Their defense went 2 sacks. Both Chris Jones, just the dominant force. They won this on the defense once again. Justin Herbert went 16 for 27, 179 yards, 6.6 yards an attempt, 1 touchdown, no picks. The touchdown to McConkey on the back of the end zone was insane. 2 sacks for 10 yards, 21.4 QBR, 91.4 rating. J.K. Dobbins went 14 for 32, didn't run the ball much. They passed the ball 27 times, ran the ball 24 times, but they only ran the ball for 55 yards. That's how you know the Chiefs' defense really stood up. Gus Edwards only ran for 19 yards on 6 carries. Ladd McConkey went 5 for 67, along with 37 on 7 targets and a touchdown. Joshua Palmer went 3 for 36, along with 26 on 4 targets. J.K. Dobbins caught 3 for 30 on 4 targets. Will Dissly went 2 for 24 on 3 targets. Quentin Johnson caught 1 ball for 9 yards on 5 targets. That's bad. Hayden Hurst caught a ball for 6 yards on 3 targets. Justin Herbert fumbled. Gus Edwards recovered it. Their defense caught 3 sacks. Troy Dye got a half a sack. Tarheeb still got half a sack. And Bud Dupree got 2 sacks. Christian Fulton got an interception, returned it 29 yards. But this was just attrition, defense, punt, field position, who can make the big play. Kelsey and Mahomes make the big play. Samaje Perine runs it in, 17-10, 4-0 Chiefs. Rashee Rice injury is tough. Because now you have to throw to Kelsey. You have no choice, even though he's triple covered, bracketed, whatever. You need to throw him the ball. I would expect that Xavier Worthy makes the effort to learn how to run routes now because they have no choice. He could be a legit weapon because of his separation, but he's a long strider, so his quickness in and out of breaks might be kind of iffy, but he has to learn how to run at least some of the route tree to help out Mahomes, because if not, they're going to be so Travis Kelce-centric that they're going to key in on that, and it's going to be tough to move the ball for them unless they run the ball. And with no Pacheco, that's tough. Ravens-Bills. Ravens destroy the Bills 35-10. I picked the Bills. I thought that they were a wagon. No. Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are a wagon. This game was 7-3 after the first quarter, 21-3 at halftime, 28-10 at the end of the third quarter, and then 35-10 in the fourth quarter. If we get to the box score, Josh Allen went 16 for 29 for 180, so not a good performance for him. 6.2 yards an attempt, three sacks, 27 for 27 yards, 32.4 QBR, 73.9 rating. James Cook couldn't get nothing on the ground. They ran for 81 yards total. They passed the ball 29 times, ran the ball 23 times. Decent balance. But they could only muster 3.5 yards a carry, 81 yards. James Cook got 39 yards on 9 carries. Josh Allen got 21 yards on 5 carries. Ray Davis got 11 yards on 7 carries. Khalil Shakir, which I believe will be his go-to guy unless Dalton Kincaid finally becomes his go-to guy, or he finds Keon Coleman more. Khalil Shakir went 4 for 62 on 5 targets. Keon Coleman went 3 for 51 on 4 targets. Dalton Kincaid went 5 for 47 on 7 targets. James Cook went 1 for 9 on 1 target. Curtis Samuel went 2 for 8 on 2 targets. Matt Collins went 1 for 5 on 6 targets. So that's bad. Josh Allen lost a fumble. Their defense got 1 sack and it was by Balen Spector, former Clemson Tiger. That was it. That's all the Bills could muster against this disgusting Ravens defense. Lamar went 13 for 18. Simple. 156, 8.7 yards an attempt, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack for 1 yard, 59.7 QBR, 135.4 rating. Derrick Henry went 24 for 199. He tried to get the 200 the last 2 plays. Couldn't get it. He got stuffed. 8.3 yards a carry. The touchdown, which was 87 yards. Classic Derrick Henry. Gets the steam. Nobody catches him. Lamar ran for 54 yards on 6 carries. Justice Hill was the leading receiver. A lot of screens and like angle routes and stuff that he took like a long ways, like 19 yards, 6 for 76 on 6 targets. Isaiah Likely went 1 for 26 on 2 targets. Rashad Bateman went 1 for 23 on 1 target. Derrick Henry went 3 for 10 on 3 targets, which is more than he's ever done. He was definitely the over on the receptions and a touchdown. Zay Flowers 1 for 10 on 2 targets. I don't know why he's not looking for Zay Flowers this game. I don't understand. Mike Andrews got 1 target, zero catches. He's just a blocker at this point. Lamar lost a fumble. Kyle Hamilton picked up a fumble, and so did Patrick Ricard. He recovered Lamar's fumble. Actually, no. Derrick Henry's fumble. Their defense came out to play. 3 sacks, 1 by Odafe Owe. 2 by Kyle Van Noy. You know, he found the fountain of youth. No interceptions. Just an ass whooping. Just an ass whooping by the Ravens at home. Now people are saying that they look like the best team in the NFL and everything like that. Listen, gotta give props to the Vikings. I know the Chiefs are banged up, but the Ravens could be there. But they're 2-2. They're 2-2. Titans Dolphins. We're not gonna spend too much time on this. I went to this game. I basically took a video of every offensive snap for the Dolphins. It wasn't that exciting. It was a lot of screens and outside zones. Will Levis got hurt in the first quarter. He went 3 for 4 for 25 yards and an interception the first drive. QBR of 0.8, 51 rating. Then Mason Rudolph, who I didn't even know was on the Titans, he took over. He went 9 for 17, 85 yards, 5 yards an attempt, 1 sack, 8 yards, 41.2 QBR, 67 rating. Tony Pollard went 22 carries for 88 yards. They ran the ball 40 times and passed the ball 21 times. So there was no balance there. It was running the ball. And they ran the ball pretty well. They ran for 142 yards. A touchdown for Pollard on a long of 41. Tajay Spears went 15 for 39. He scored a touchdown. Calvin Ridley ran for 10 yards, but he didn't do much. DeAndre Hopkins caught 2 balls for 31 yards on 4 targets. Tyler Boyd caught two balls for 31 yards on 2 targets. Tony Pollard caught 2 balls for 20 yards on 2 targets. Traylon Burks caught a ball for 13 on 1 target. Calvin Ridley caught a ball for 5 yards on 3 targets. Chiga Konko caught a ball on 3 targets for 5 yards. That's it. Arden Key picked up a fumble. Their defense got 2 sacks. Sebastian Joseph Day and Harold Landry the third. No picks. 31 points. It was 0-0 after the first quarter. 9-3 after the second quarter. All fields. In the third quarter, 19-3. 1 touchdown, bunch of field goals. And then in the fourth quarter, 12-6, more field goals. This was a Pat McAfee game for sure. I lost my voice. I still have it kind of raspy. I got excited. I tailgated with my boys, and I had more fun tailgating and yelling than watching the game, if I'm being honest. It was abysmal. It was play calling of elementary Pop Warner. It was absolutely atrocious. Snoop Huntley is not the answer. The hope that we had doesn't exist, even though it's his first game. He was been there only a week, so I understand maybe there's an optimism that he'll get better. He started throwing the ball in the fourth quarter, so maybe there's optimism there, but I don't see none. This Tennessee squad sucked, and we couldn't move the ball a lick. Huntley went 14 for 22, 96 yards, 4.4 yards in the 10th. 2 sacks for 18 yards, a QBR of 12.1, a rating of 72.3. He ran the ball. He was a leading rusher, 2 for 40 yards, 8 carries. Jalen Wright was the leading carrier, 9 carries for 32 yards. Tyreek Hill ran the ball 3 for 19 on sweeps. And Don Achan ran the ball 10 times for 15 yards, 1.5 yards a carry. We ran the ball 30 times for 3.5 yards a carry. We passed the ball 22 times. Not real balance, but I guess. But every pass was like a screenplay or a goal, so it's basically a run play. Jalen Waddle went 4 for 36 on 6 targets. Tyreek went 4 for 23 on 7 targets. Connor went 2 for 15 on 2 targets. Devon Achan went 3 for 14 on 3 targets. That was pretty much it. Tyler Huntley lost a fumble. Our defense did nothing. We had 1 sack. Jordan Brooks on a blitz. And Emmanuel was the one that caught the interception, the first drive of the game. And that was it. It was awful. It was bad. It was. If this is what we're gonna be with Tyler Huntley, we're tanking for Shadeur. We're tanking for Quinn. We're tanking for Jalen Milrow. Who are we tanking for? Because holy shit, this is bad. According to Tua, he has no after effects or symptoms, so they're expecting to activate him right after the 4-game IR stint. If he comes back, maybe we have a shot at the rest of the season, but if he gets hurt again, I mean, I think he's done, so it's tough. And then for lastly, Seahawks-Lions, I picked the Lions in this one, 42-29. This was an exciting game, 7-0 after the first quarter, then 21-7 at halftime on the favor of the Lions. And then the Lions went bonkers, 14 in the third, 13 in the third for the Seahawks. So it was 28-20, and then 9 points from the Seahawks trying to come back, and then another touchdown for the Lions in the fourth quarter just to seal it away. A perfect game for Jared Goff. We'll get there. Geno Smith went 38 for 56. Those are career highs. 395 yards. That's a career high. 7.1 yards an attempt, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Interception, 3 sacks for 12 yards, a QBR of 63.3, a rating of 86.5. Kenneth Walker went 12 for 80 yards and 3 touchdowns, so shout out to whoever had him in fantasy. Geno ran the ball for 38 yards. Zach Charbonnet ran the ball for 15 yards. They ran the ball 19 times for 133 yards, but since it was a shootout, they passed the ball 56 times. You talk about no balance. And they were still in this game a little bit. DK went 7 for 104 on 12 targets. That's what I like for DK, that type of target share. Tyler Lockett, 9 targets, 5 for 61. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 8 for 51 on 12 targets. That's what I like with those 3 guys. You got to give them the ball. Zach Charbonnet went 5 for 39 on 5 targets. Kenneth Walker went 4 for 36 on 5 targets. Jake Bobo went 3 for 30 on 3 targets. AJ Barner, 2 for 27 and a touchdown on 2 targets. DK Metcalf fumbled and lost it. That's what really got him behind the 8 ball, made it 14-0. That was tough. Their defense played okay without Murphy and Wosu and Mafe. They didn't have anybody. Jaron Reed got a sack. Derek Hall got a sack, and Draymond Jones got a sack. No interceptions. But when you go against the Lions, bro, you got to watch for both heads, and both heads were definitely out here. Jared Goff was 18 for 18, most pass attempts to ever in a game that goes perfect completion percentage. 18 for 18, 292, 16.2 yards an attempt, so going downfield. 2 TDs, no picks, 3 sacks for 26 yards, 95.1 QBR, a 155.8 So more than a perfect is almost a perfect 158.3. So 155.8 QB rating. Amon-Ra went 1 for 1, 7 yards and a touchdown. That was to Jared Goff on a nice play that Ben Johnson drew up. Overall, they went 19 for 19 as a team passing the ball. Jahmyr Gibbs went 14 for 78 and 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery went 12 for 40 and a touchdown. They ran the ball 28 times for 16 yards. They passed the ball 19 times, so they definitely ran the ball more. Jameson Williams were 2 catches for 80 yards, a long of 70 on a touchdown that they couldn't catch him on a crossing route. Laporta went 4 for 53 on 4 targets. Need the target share more on Laporta. Tim Patrick coming back from the injuries that he had sustained in the Broncos. 2 for 52 on 2 targets. Amon-Ra went 6 for 45 on 6 targets. So not a lot of passing yardage wise, but a lot, divvying it up. Montgomery caught 1 pass for 40 yards. Brock Wright caught 2 passes for 13 yards. Carlton Davis got a fumble back. And then their defense played pretty well. 3 sacks. You got Aleem McNeil with half a sack, DJ Reader with a sack, and Levi Owuzurike with half a sack. Malcolm Rodriguez had a sack as well. Kirby Joseph had an interception. And yeah, just the Lions could be one of those teams also saying, hey, we're one of the best in the NFL, and certainly could make the case for the best in the NFC. So shout out to the Lions. Shout out to Jared Goff. Perfect night. Ben Johnson was in his bag. And the defense, played well. Terrion Arnold got to clean up those pass interferences, man. You played at Bama, bro. Come on. You can't get handsy like that. Just quick on MLB, what happened in the playoffs today. KC won against the Orioles 1-0. Like I said, the Tigers beat the Stros 3-0. I believe it's 3-0. Let me see here. Trying to see the games. Where they at? Oh, the scores. Yeah, so the Braves are losing against the Padres 2-0 in the bottom of the first in game 1 of the NL wild card. The Tigers beat the Astros 3-1. They had the Stros had bases loaded, bottom of the 9th, and Jason Hayward hit a line drive over 100 miles an hour straight to Spencer Torkelson at first base for the last out. KC beats the Orioles 1-0 with Corbin Burns and Cole Reagans going ham. Cole Reagans with 8 strikeouts just looked nasty. So did Corbin Burns. And the Mets beat the Brewers 8-4 in a back-and-forth affair that was 2-0, 3-4, 3-3, and then they took off. The Mets are a wagon, just like the Tigers right now. Severino wasn't pitching that well, but, I guess Freddie really gave up, and their bullpen gave up a lot of stuff. Lindor got no hits on 4 at-bats. But he scored a run, so he got walked. Yeah, he got walked. Who got a home run? No home runs, so they were all scored. Mark Vientos went 2 for 2, 2 RBIs. So that's what it was. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully the Brewers don't get knocked out. That'd be sad that they win their division and get knocked out, just like the Orioles, just like the Stros. The Padres should win against the Braves, but we'll see. Other than that, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting. The Dolphins suck until Tua comes back. Hopefully, baseball's back. In 3 weeks, we have NBA. Karl Anthony Towns got traded to the Knicks from the Timberwolves. They receive a first-round pick. Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. That's going to be very interesting to see how Ant fits with Julius Randle. Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench, probably playing with Dillingham or something like that. Also for the Knicks, how are they going to incorporate Cat with Mitchell Robinson? They can stretch out the floor. Stretch out the floor, but still have a presence in the middle. With Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo's gone, so not the whole Villanova 4 is there, but you got Josh Hart, you got Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited for John Morant. I'm excited for Ant. I'm excited for Vic. I'm excited for Damian Lillard. I'm excited for Paul George and the 76ers. Not excited for the Boston Celtics. I'm excited for Tyrese Halliburton. I'm excited for the Heat to see what we do. But other than that, I love you guys. God bless. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hit me on all my socials. And I leave you all with the outro.
Que todos quieren ser el chamaquito que no puede